Welcome to the Kindness Project, the podcast designed to share stories of kindness and share how kindness can make positive change in our world, one small act at a time.
This week on the Kindness Project, we're talking about Boybands, merch, and the second part of the interview with Jason Connon.
Welcome to the Kindness Project. I'm joined by a girl who would love to get a little bit of buble out of her box. Not out of your box. No, that went wrong. I can't start again now because we're Facebook Live.
We can start again.
No, we can't start again. I'm joined by a girl who would love to get buble out of his box. It's Charlotte Dames. How you doing?
Not bad. And I'm joined by a man who traded in his afro for a bald patch.
Oh, God! Sweet bird. Did you just give me the shoulder flick?
No, I had fluff on my shoulder from my coat.
She just gave me the shoulder flick.
No, my coat's really fluffy, so it just sticks all over my shirt.
Oh, did it? I did have an afro at one place. I did swap it for a bald patch. Thank you. Thank you very much. So I have now got less hair than I did a few years ago. But the good news is you're making up for it in the hair growing stakes because you're growing your lovely locks, aren't you?
I look like I've joined a boy band.
What boy band? What boy band would you join?
Dunno.
Boyzone? Take that.
Script.
Now, the Script is a decent boy band, isn't it? It's not the worst boy band in the world. So I like the idea of the Script as a boy band. So how about Bublé? Would you be in Bublé's backing band? Would you get
Keep Bublé in his box. He only comes out at Christmas.
Now, we've got a thing in our family where we talk about Bublé, and while you sort of doing... That's the problem with doing Facebook Live when you podcast. You just end up making silly faces at the camera. So Bublé is good at Christmas, and then he should get back in his box. When should we get Bublé back out of his box? 1st of December?
Yeah, sounds about
And you open the gates to the box and suddenly it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
January 1st comes and you got to shove him back in there.
Get back in, Bublé. I want to get out. No, sorry, Bublé, get back in your box.
You can make an appearance on what's the Dancing on Ice. There we go.
We'll let you stay until Jules Holland, and then you do your little Jules Holland appearance. You can go back in your box. So. What I'm going to talk about this week, we've got a bumper show packed lined up, so we're looking forward to show. We've got our second part of our interview with Jason Connon, who works with Age UK and does loads of mentorship with older people. So he's got this really good friendship with this 90-year-old woman who loves the Beatles. So
he loves the Beatles too.
He likes the Beatles too, and we like the Beatles too, don't we? But I want to talk one subject only. Merch. Because we've got some merch now, haven't we?
Yes.
So
I spent a long time setting that up. It was less.
So do you want to tell our listeners and Facebook Lives about our merch?
Yes. It's a bunch of merch with the Kindness Project logo on it. It's got a website. I'm not sure if it's linked to the Kindness Project website. Don't know what's going on with it, but I set up the website.
Big sale there. It's got a bunch of merch.
Well, actually, I spent quite a while, and there's hoodies and there's T-shirts and there's men and women T-shirts, so don't worry.
So we've got some merch for the podcast there, haven't we?
There's some drawstring bags and there's some phone cases. I think I added everything on there, so
Okay. So if you are a regular listener of the to the Kindness Project podcast, and you'd like to buy some lovely...
It's about trees and fish. What's the Kindness Project be about?
Don't know. And you'd like to buy some Kindness Project merch. It's all available now, isn't it?
Yep.
It's all. What are you getting? Because I will buy you a Kindness Project piece of merch so we can wear it for the next live podcast we do. What would you like?
I quite like the look of the drawstring hoodie that I was...
Drawstring hoodie. Yeah. I'm going for a polo. Kindness Project polo. No?
Nah, drawstring hoodie for me.
Okay, fair enough. Good. So, I don't know if high fives might work for Facebook Live. Don't know if it works on a podcast, but we'll give it a go. Shall we get on with the show?
We didn't even have a question.
How could I forget question of the podcast? This week's question of the podcast is, what is your guilty pleasure? What is your guilty pleasure? So, question of the podcast this week is, What is your guilty pleasure? What's your guilty pleasure?
Beethoven.
Beethoven?
Yeah.
Why Beethoven?
Because it sounds good. And children's TV shows with moral meanings.
Like,
they did an episode of Sesame Street about death. Because one of the actors died and they were trying to figure out how to deal with it, and one of the scenes from it made me very emotional, so I just
did it go like this? Sunny day, the bloke you know has passed away.
No.
I'm just guessing.
Or what recent shows are that are really good for that?
What about death?
No, they're kids shows, but they're dealing with some big issues.
My guilty pleasure is very simple. Cake. I love a cake. Just give me chocolate or cake or anything like that. I am over the moon. But for now, should we move on to Kindness News? Moving on. So, we're moving on to Kindness News. Would you like to do the Kindness News jingle and the addition?
Kindness News. Cards edition.
Cards? What do you mean cards edition? Like playing cards?
No.
Birthday cards.
Birthday cards.
Birthday cards edition of Kindness News. Go on then.
Okay. Autistic boy receives 20,000 birthday cards after mother's public appeal.
Amazing. Love it already.
When Ollie Jones, a boy with autism from Exmouth, turned 15 in 2016, he expressed to his mother how excited he was to open his birthday cards that he would receive from friends and family. However, his mother, Karen Jones, feared that he wouldn't receive many cards, as the teenager didn't have many friends.
Yeah.
Karen issued a plea on a Facebook community page for people to send Ollie birthday cards in celebration of his special day. The response that her post received was monumental, with the teenager receiving around 20,000 cards, messages and presents from people all around the world. I'd love to thank everyone and remind people that there are Ollies everywhere.
I think that's a lovely little story. So, where did she give the shout out to? Do you know?
No.
So we've got the second part of Jason Connon's interview. Jason's a lovely guy, runs an insurance business in London, and he, through Age UK, befriended an older person and said that he wanted to make sure that an older person wasn't lonely. And in last week's show, he was telling us all about how Age UK matched him with a older person.
Yeah.
And how actually the older person's turned into a bit of a friend.
Yeah.
And in this part of the interview, we're going to talk about how Jason actually became friends with a person who he just thought he was helping out, how they've got loads of shared interests, and we asked him some killer questions of the podcast. Would you like to hear the interview?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. That was almost Churchill Doggish there. You went back to the Churchill Dog.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
Cool. Okay. Well, but the other interesting thing as well, and we, one of the guys we talk about in the podcast quite a lot is a guy called David Hamilton. So he's got a PhD, worked in pharmaceuticals, but did loads and loads of research into the impact of doing good on your own personal well-being. And there's a great book. I'll happily lend it to you. Called The 5 Side Effects of Kindness, which talks about the fact that the act of helping somebody else is actually not just that walk you're taking, but helps your mental health, helps your physical health. Apparently stops aging. I don't know if it will stop that balding. What do you think, Charlotte?
No, sorry, a bit late for that.
Probably not going to happen. But just helping somebody else do something awesome means that you're benefiting from it, aren't you? Yeah.
And I take great pride in firstly being part of the scheme.
Yeah.
They need volunteers, they need help.
Yeah.
So doing that bit. But when I get the feedback either directly from Dennis or she talks to Age UK herself and the message gets back that
you're doing a good job. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah.
Our relationship has went beyond the scheme.
Yeah.
So I guess whenever we meet a new friend or gain new friends, friends are a good thing.
Yeah.
People like to interact with people, especially good people.
It's interesting though, because I think we live in a society where technology sometimes makes us feel more connected, but that sitting down and having a really good face-to-face or phone conversation with somebody is completely different, isn't it? Yeah.
It is. And Dillis, as an example, she has an iPad.
Yeah.
So she is, for her age, she's technically mature in terms of IT. But values the call engagement rather than checking up on Facebook.
Yeah, she can do that anytime, can't she? So what's Dillis's favourite Beatles song?
Good question. I think it's Day in the Life, but I probably need to check.
Right.
Me, I would say Don't Let Me Down today.
Oh, great tune.
But if you ask me tomorrow, and whatever my mood was or whatever I've been listening to most recently, I might say Revolution because it's a bit.
Yeah.
Tougher.
I tell you what, the Beatles have got a song for every mood as well.
Yeah, they do.
I absolutely love that. You've got the Beatles in common. What else have you got in common? So you've got current affairs, and what have you been talking about over the years?
Well, a lot of the discussion is she has a genuine interest in my business. Yeah. So my career, what I do, how I do it. As I said, she's
a supportive interest, right? She wants to help you. Yeah.
She's sharp as a tack.
Yeah.
A very, very intelligent woman. So she can give views, opinions. She knows how to treat people. How to do the right thing. So she has a real interest in that. And family is
it's universal, isn't it?
It's a never-ending discussion.
So she's got family?
Yeah. So it's a very pertinent point. She has, again, if someone was to take the observation, you would say she's got a son, she's got a daughter, they have grandkids, they don't stay too far away, she's just outside of Liverpool. But the reality is different, and that's not to be critical of Dillis's family, because we all
do it, don't we?
We have work, we travel with work, we travel back from work, we try and do some hobbies, we go to the gym, make dinner. Next thing you know, your day is...
It's gone from Monday to Friday.
It's done. The weekends go by.
And I know we talked about this before, and it's that perception that, they're too busy. They're too busy to spend time. And actually, that's an element that you need to communicate better with your parents. Right? So just say, look, the phone, you can phone me. You are please do. Just pick up the phone and give me a buzz.
Going back to the point earlier around how do you recognise loneliness, you can't.
No.
And my experience and my engagement with Age UK is that it's a very difficult thing to raise with close family. Yeah. Because by definition, being on your own, you are somewhat self-dependent and independent. That's certainly the impression. When you go and do your own shopping, you can work the internet, fantastic. Yeah. That's not for sure, that's just people living. But deep down, the reality of how they feel when they're on their own, it's a hard thing.
Just having that company, just having that conversation is so important. So, what do you get out of it? What drives you to not only do it initially, but also just continue after 5 years?
Yeah. Well, the first thing is that this is a friend. So that will never end in the sense.
Do you still call her at the same time?
Well, sometimes we juggle it around. If my work diary is taking me to a different time slot, then we'll just agree and carry on the call at a different slot. But once a week, 30 minutes is a kind of broad rule, but some calls can go over. There's no...
But it's flexible in that regard.
Absolutely flexible. So the friendship thing is the most important, and that's the first thing. Is giving back, I believe, absolutely in not even corporate responsibility, because that connects it to business, but just
doing good,
helping people, being kind. I mean, there's a very simple couple of words, just being kind. yes.
Yeah.
That feels good,
Yeah.
it's important. And even if someone doesn't sign up to the scheme, they might realise, well, actually I've got time, I'll do something.
Yeah.
It might not be calling time, but I'll go and help or offer my time.
Look, I think the reality is everybody's got a half hour a week they can carve out their diary. Well, none of us are that busy, are they? And I think we it's really weird because when we spoke about this when Mike came on to guest host the podcast, and we people think it's really depressing when Charlotte and I think about this, but we always think about memento mori. So remember that you're going to die one day, and I think doing good stuff is a really good sign of a life well lived. You know,
Karma.
yeah. You know what? I've got a really scientific brain, so karma for me is I don't want anything back. If something good happens, that's fine. But what I do want to do is make sure that Charlotte and Sophie can look back and go, you know what? He tried his best. He did some good stuff. You know.
We don't want to cry at his funeral.
I want an award. Well, we were talking about death the other day, and you did say you were going to chuck me down the Thames.
That was your suggestion. You want to be chucked down the Thames.
Casket.
Yeah, just.
I'm thinking about cremating.
You know what?
Because of death, it will chuck you down the tip.
Well, you know what? I said, look, don't worry about spending money on a casket. Tesco bag for life. Just put.
But on that point, I'm not really a spiritual person.
Yeah.
But if you are feeling good about yourself, then that positivity.
Agreed. Absolutely agreed.
It breeds positivity.
Yeah, people see that, I think. People absolutely see that.
That's why it'd be fantastic. Not if someone doesn't sign up to the scheme, which I hope they do. But at least they're thinking around. Well,
what can I do?
What can you do?
Because there are a million causes out there that need volunteers, helps.
Absolutely, and it's small steps. You know that half. I think a lot what puts people off is haven't got the time, haven't got the money. Half an hour every week is doable. It's doable for most people.
It is absolutely nothing in the scheme of your working week or your just general spend your time.
Before you tell us a little bit more about where we can find out a little bit more about Age UK, we do a thing on the podcast every week called the question of the podcast, and what we do is we get guests on and we ask them some of the questions we ask our listeners every week.
Yes.
So, Charlotte, do you want to ask Jason some of our questions?
Ooh, you're asking me. Okay.
Do you want me to get the list up,
yes,
or are you?
Wow, there's a list.
There is a list. We've been doing this for weeks now, so we've got 40 questions that we've asked our listeners. So let's give you a typical one. What's your favourite Muppet?
Who is the drummer?
Animal.
Yeah.
Of course the best. Of course the best.
Don't prove it right. I like Fozzie.
Fozzie was good.
See, there's a musical connection which you're probably getting from.
Yeah.
Okay, what's your favourite egg dish?
Is it omelette, fried, scrambled, or Cadbury's creamed?
I'd say fried.
Fried? Oh, see, I like an omelette.
I like an omelette.
And we had a debate. Yeah. There's a really nice lady called Bernadette Russell who wrote a book on kindness that's brilliant. And I asked her the egg question, not knowing she was a vegan, which was a bit awkward. But she said, my favourite use of an egg is to create little chicks, which I thought was the best answer ever. What's the worst movie you've ever seen?
There have been a lot of bad movies over the years.
I haven't seen that. I don't think I will, to be honest. No.
I think the acting's probably up for that debate.
I don't think most people saw it for the acting, to be honest. And if you could be a character from one of your favourite books, what book would you choose and what character?
Question. Can I cheat and say John Lennon's autobiography?
we haven't had a real person selected. But
No,
yeah,
we
why
haven't,
not?
actually.
Why not? That's really good. John Lennon. So do you reckon, as part of the Lennon and McCartney mix, do you reckon Lennon was more talented?
Yes.
Okay.
Just through the diversity of his songs. So,
Gotcha.
but both of them can do it.
Yeah.
Rock, ballads,
Yeah.
Blues. There was nothing that they couldn't do. I just felt Lennon was just a bit had the edge.
Yeah, and obviously the Frog song was a bit of a downward turn for McCartney.
Who knows? Maybe Lennon would have been down that route as he aged.
Potentially.
Obviously, what was it, 1980 when he was killed.
Yeah.
Up to that point, he's got quite a solid solo career.
Yeah, definitely.
But McCartney's also got brilliant bits in there.
Yeah, definitely.
Some of his recent stuff.
His new album's actually decent. Yeah, really, really good.
75, 70.
But he'll never stop, will he?
No.
I mean, he'll just... Yeah, it's just...
These guys is incredible.
Yeah. What's your favourite piece of trivia? And you will get extra points for a piece of Beatles-related trivia, as we're talking about the Beatles.
Right, okay, good question.
What's your favourite piece of trivia again, Charlotte? Oh, okay.
That was a long time ago, that question.
I had, while you were thinking about it, I had my favourite piece of trivia was who was the first person to use an ATM in the UK? Do you know that? Do you know that one?
Queen?
No, it was it was so far from the Queen, it's unbelievable. It was Reg Farney from On the Buses. Do you remember? I know. That is completely random, but it's just so surprising. It's a good piece of trivia. Right, while you're thinking about that, what's the best biscuit?
I have to be on the same page as my Scottish.
Don't kickstart the Jaffa Cake debate again.
No, we're not saying Jaffa Cakes. We're not saying Jaffa Cakes.
Tea cake. Now, despite the word cake, it's technically this.
Well, we'll have to consult Cassie, our resident family Scottish and biscuit expert. I thought you were going to go shortcakes.
I love short.
I thought you were going to go shortcakes, but a tonic tea cake.
If you've got just this the right way round, so we are 250,000 miles from the moon.
Okay.
And the sun is 250,000 times the size of the Earth, so there's a kind of correlation between the two numbers.
And that's why the eclipse works. That is a great fact. I like that fact. Yeah. Yeah.
When was this?
Yeah, no, there was one recently.
Yeah. And I read it and I thought, that's science.
I know, it's absolutely amazing. I've got a client. I know. we had some absolutely amazing ones that came through. Apparently, broccoli was invented. Broccoli as a vegetable, that was one of my favourites. Broccoli as a vegetable was a combination of two other vegetables, and it was artificially made. I don't know why they picked broccoli.
I'd be surprised if it was cauliflower and cabbage.
Yeah.
Oh, I like the one about ketchup being used as medicine. I like that one.
Ketchup was invented as a medicine originally.
Is this impact to happiness and well-being because it tastes nice?
You know what? Genuinely, I don't know.
Eat ketchup on
We're just curious people, Jason, so we ask questions every week to do that. But back to the subject in hand. When with the Age UK programme, where can people find out a bit more?
So their website is the best access point. They're on www.ageuk.org.uk.
Okay.
You will occasionally see either their locations on the high street or volunteers out looking to see if they can encourage public.
And in preparation for this podcast interview, I had a look at the particular page that talks about the programme, and actually it's a really, it gives loads of information, it's well laid out. Certainly we'll put a link in the show notes so that people can click through and take a look.
A couple of it's
you can apply online, can't you?
Yeah. References, they will be contacted by Age UK done.
How long does the process take?
I couldn't be any more than a week, 10 days.
Okay.
As soon as I go back to my first subscribe, as soon as my references have been contacted, then it's set up, because they have a bank of
people waiting
for friends.
Yeah.
I mean, things change, people become divorced.
Yeah.
The life changes, so going back to the ageing population crisis, the numbers are going up faster than the charity.
One trivia question, one question the podcast didn't ask, but is particularly pertinent when we're talking about the charity, is if you were emperor for the day, you had control of all of the governmental machine, what one law would you put in place?
I would mandate corporate responsibility a bit more.
Yeah.
So my view and experience is that there are loads of opportunities for people to contribute.
Yeah.
But the opportunity is voluntary.
Yeah.
So it's a bit like if you think of national service, say in Switzerland, could a national service take model not?
I love that.
But you do whatever it is, some kind of community.
So you've got to give a day to the community. One day a week. Yeah, I like that idea. What do you think, Charlotte?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Yes, come.
Let's campaign.
Right.
Age UK, so not only do they have the call time scheme, they're a real driving force in.
Yeah, they do a lot of lobbying, don't they? Yeah.
And another thing, what have I got from the scheme? I was lucky to get to the House of Commons.
Yeah.
Get in that amazing building.
It's awesome, isn't it?
And contribute to parliamentary debate.
Charlotte and I went one day, and Charlotte, we walked from London Bridge to Westminster, and then Charlotte got a bit tired, so she sat in Jeremy Corbyn's seat, didn't you? Accidentally, and
then I sat on the floor.
got in quite a lot of trouble because you're not meant to sit there unless you've been democratically elected. But
Decided to sit on the steps instead.
Were you tempted?
Nah.
What would you do?
No, that's another question. Did you take anything?
No.
Alright.
No. Did you take a selfie? Oh, you're not allowed to take photos in there either. We might get in a lot of trouble over this. Did you steal anything? And when shall we send the police round to come and get you?
I love your picture. Fantastic.
I may have finished it.
What's that crown you've got on your head? What have you been up to?
Made it myself.
Jason, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. I've really enjoyed talking about the scheme, and if you need any more, we'll make sure we put in the show notes.
Yes.
Cool.
Thank you.
So, what did you think of the last bit of Jason's interview? It was good, wasn't it? It was good. Gouda.
Gouda.
Is it cheesy?
It's very cheesy.
Very cheesy.
But, you know.
Cool.
Tis the end.
What? Was that actually the end? Because you
I feel maybe I should do another one.
do another one.
Tis the end. It is over. There is no more.
It's not the end, though, is it? Because the end of the podcast is never the end. It's just the beginning of the end. Because we've got last week's question of the podcast answered this week.
Yeah.
And we had a really good question of the week. Who would you like to swap lives with for a week? So we're doing Facebook Live as well. So we're in a position where you're free on Facebook Live to answer this week's question or last week's question of the podcast. Who would you swap lives with for a week? But we've got some of our listeners and social media network who have given us answers, haven't we? So
yes.
Do you want to do the first one?
John Cookie, friend of the show.
Friend of the show. Right. You only get the title of friend of the show if you've actually contributed at least, is it 5 or 10 times?
I said 4.
4? No, it's gone up now.
Oh, 5.
John's an Uber friend of the show. So John is like, he just puts in stuff every week. So John said he'd swap lives with Sacha Baron Cohen because, and then he's just put a photo of Isla Fisher, and that's probably a good reason. Don't know, John. Up to you, mate. Next, we had Alistair McCann, who went a bit political, to be honest. He went Philip Hammond, the Chancellor, to tax people properly again and sort out this absolute mess, he didn't use that word, masquerading as the UK economy. So, now, this is a podcast on kindness, and we try and avoid politics on the Kindness Project, don't we?
Yeah.
We haven't mentioned the Brexit word. Oh, God, I've mentioned Brexit. It's going down here already. I don't know what I've done. And then it went on a bit of a political tip. Sam Slomer said, and again, if you're on Facebook Live, please do let us know who you'd swap lives with for a week. Sam Slomer said, great question. There's too many people to choose from, but I'd love to see how some of the top sportsmen or top people in our world live for a week. That would give me an amazing insight. So if you could pick somebody who's at the top of their game, who would you pick? Would you pick like a top sportsman, or I wouldn't pick Theresa May at the minute, would you?
She's not a top sportsman.
No, she is. She's dodging questions. Dodge question.
You know, one person I don't want to swap my life with for a week right now.
Theresa May.
Usain Bolt.
Why Usain Bolt?
He's retiring.
I thought he'd already retired.
No, because he was going to join a football team, and then they didn't have the funds to buy him. So.
I'd love to swap with Usain Bolt in a week just to understand what it's like to be fast.
I don't think he's much fast anymore.
Because I'm slow. No, he is. He's still so fast. I mean, compared to you and I, he's probably, yeah. It's Usain Bolt. He's not going to suddenly retire and go, actually, I am really slow. He's there. I mean, it just does work like that. So Simon Weeks had a strange request. He'd like to swap with me. Because apparently he wants to see how it feels to listen to Paolo Nutini. Now, Simon's got a bit of an issue with Paolo Nutini. I like Paolo Nutini. Mm-hmm. I think he's quite good. Simon's not too keen. So,
Poor Simon. Poor Simon.
Poor Simon. He's missing out, I think. He's missing out. I mean, it's not like I said I really liked, I don't know, Russ Abbott or, I don't know, who's really cheesy? Who's really cheesy in your world? Justin Bieber.
Oh.
Now, that is a man who should get back in his box. Put Bieber...
his prison cell. Put Bieber back in the prison cell.
Put Bieber back in the box. But in all seriousness, Simon would live the life of a PGA Tour golf pro because he'd love to tour around great courses, great weather, and be the best in your sport. There's a bit of a theme here because it's all about seeing how the best people in the world want to...
swap bodies and be good at sport. I'd like to be good at like songwriting or...
Oh, Ed Sheeran. You could swap places with Ed Sheeran.
I could swap places with someone like Lucy Spraggan, that'd be nice.
Lucy Spraggan would be good as well, wouldn't she? Cassie, friend of the show, who's now just started watching on Facebook Live.
Oh, you hear your name and you prick.
Were you sort of waiting for your name to be mentioned or not? Cassie said, and she can comment on this live if she wants to, because she's on Facebook Live right now. Cassie said she'd swap with me. Now, I don't know why she'd do that. Do I live some sort of charmed existence then? Is that what she's trying to say? Have I got an easy life? Is that a no comment, Charlotte? Are we not even going there?
No.
And Russell would swap with me as well. So apparently, I've got a life that's worth swapping with. Serena Duffy said, I wanted to say the President of the United States because I really want to know all the secrets, like who killed JFK, but I don't think they'll tell you the secrets to this one. Now, if there's one person in the world...
She said she wanted to live her life for a week.
Oh, no, but I don't get to swap with you. You just get to live my life for a week. So
that's not how it works.
Oh, right, okay.
Her soul would just aim...
But Serena apparently wants to live as the President of the United States, who currently is Donald Trump. Would you choose Donald Trump's life for a week?
No.
I'm not sure. Mike Christie would choose Peter Kay, just to make people laugh. I get that. And Heidi Ball said, definitely Leon. So Leon's Heidi's son. To be that enthusiastic about everything, to run, skip and jump through life rather than walk through it with 10,000 other things on your mind, to enjoy that being rather than worry about everything. Mm-hmm. You can swap with me, I don't worry about any of that stuff. I'm 41, I still like a skip. Why?
You find me frolicking down the road.
Why is skipping reserved for children? I mean, I don't get that. I mean, skipping should be a universal thing, right?
Look at this one.
Bev Stoves said, probably my kids. They have the life of Riley. And we've got Simon already. It's what with me, because I like skipping.
And Paolo Nutini.
I like skipping and Paolo Nutini, and that's all you need to know. So I realised at the start of the show we didn't let. Why are you pulling funny faces at Facebook Live? So I'd like to let people know how they can get in touch with us for the end of the show.
Okay, so on Twitter, it's Ola Kindness.
Or at palonatinilover.com. No, do that. No.
On Facebook, you go into the magical search bar thingy. And
do you still not know how people can find us on Facebook? So all you do in Facebook, you search Holla Kindness, or put the Kindness Project.
That's why I said go into the magical search bar thingy.
All right, okay.
And then if you want to email us, because you're having a crazy day, tell us about your crazy day. We're good with that. Yeah. Holla at thekindnessproject.co.uk and the website is
www.thekindnessproject.co.uk. If you want to find us on MySpace, what are you doing on MySpace still? I mean,
we haven't established a MySpace. Oh, Bear Grylls.
Oh, right. I like that. I like that suggestion. Yeah, swapping with Bear Grylls or a day in the army. Going to Mandy's gym's like a day in the army. Honestly, it's a scary space. I'll probably see her later. She's gonna make me do extra burpees for that. I'm in so much trouble.
Enjoy the army training.
So that's how people can get in touch with us. And if people want to buy the merch, what they're going to do?
Go onto the website. It's probably on there.
Or if it isn't, we'll make sure it's on next week.
Yes.
And we'll be wearing our own Kindness Project merch next week, won't it? Amazing.
Probably, if it gets shipped quick enough.
Hopefully, fingers crossed. So, but I think on that note of Mandy telling me that I'm probably going to be having to do more burpees when I get to the gym. Should we say goodbye for this episode of the Kindness Project?
Bye.
Bye.